Some people fall in love with what they see. Others fall for what they feel. But once in a while, the universe gifts you a love that makes you believe again. Not in money, not in beauty, but in kindness. The skyline of Lagos glittered under the afternoon sun like liquid gold. From the top floor of Okafor Holdings, Jayden Okafor leaned back in his leather chair, staring through the glass wall that framed the city. His reflection stared back. A tall, striking man in his early 30s, broad shoulders filling his tailored navy suit, dark eyes sharp yet distant. Everything about him spoke of power, the kind that made people nervous in his presence. He had everything. Wealth that could buy islands, charm that could melt marble, and a face that had graced more magazines than he cared to count. Yet, in the quiet moments between meetings, Jayden felt it, that echoing emptiness. The world saw him as the untouchable billionaire. He saw himself as a man surrounded by gold, but starved of warmth. He dated women of all types, heiresses, models, entrepreneurs, all perfectly polished, all perfectly false. They wanted his name, his money, his influence, never him. And so, Jayden learned to live alone, to smile politely at flirtations and shut the door behind him at night with no one waiting on the other side. Until the day she walked in. The lobby of Okafor Holdings was always alive. Polished floors, the scent of coffee, phones ringing, shoes clicking, staff scurrying like notes in a corporate symphony. That morning, a new sound entered the melody. The soft, measured footsteps of Evone Nwosu. She was early, her first day. Her outfit was simple. A crisp white blouse tucked into a modest pencil skirt, low heels, and her hair pulled into a neat bun that framed her delicate face. Her beauty wasn't loud. It was the kind that snuck up on you, quiet and effortless. As she stepped into the reception, she smiled at the cleaner who was mopping the marble tiles. "Good morning, sir," she said gently. The old man blinked, surprised. No one had ever called him sir before. "Morning, my dear," he said, warmth creeping into his tired eyes. She found her desk, the front secretary's post, right across the elevators leading to the executive floors. The job wasn't glamorous, but to her, it meant stability, a chance to start over after months of struggling to find decent work. She hadn't even settled in when she heard raised voices behind her. "Are you blind, you old fool?" The voice rang through the lobby, sharp and dripping with arrogance. Evone turned. Standing by the glass elevator was Queen Ease, Jayden's personal assistant, a woman known for her beauty and venom in equal measure. Her long red nails pointed accusingly at the cleaner, who was clutching his mop apologetically. "I'm sorry, Ma," the cleaner began. "Sorry? You nearly splashed water on my dress," Queen snapped. "Do you even know how much this costs?" Evone felt heat rise in her chest. She could see the humiliation in the old man's eyes, the kind of silent shame that people in power rarely noticed. "Excuse me," Evone said, stepping forward. Her tone was calm but firm. "He apologized. There's no need to talk to him like that." Queen turned slowly, eyes narrowing as if she'd just been challenged by a ghost. "And who exactly are you?" "Evone, the new secretary downstairs." Queen laughed, a cruel sound. "Ah. The new girl. You've been here, what, 5 minutes? And you already think you can tell me how to behave? I'm saying basic respect shouldn't be a privilege," Evone replied softly, meeting her gaze. "He's old enough to be your father." Gasps fluttered from nearby staff. No one ever talked back to Queen. Not even department heads. Queen stepped closer, her perfume filling the air, expensive and suffocating. "Do you know who I am? I can end your employment before your ID card warms your neck." Evone didn't flinch. "You can't fire me. You didn't hire me." Queen's lips parted in outrage. "We'll see about that. You'll stay exactly where you are until the boss gets here. I'll let him decide how to deal with you." Evone crossed her arms, standing her ground. "That's fine. I'd like to hear it from him myself." The elevator doors chimed. Everyone turned. Out stepped Jayden, tall, commanding, every inch the billionaire he was. His charcoal gray suit fit like second skin, and his deep voice carried easily through the silence that followed. What's going on here? Queen was quick to move. Oh, Mr. Okafor. Thank God you're here. This new girl was being rude, undermining authority, and let her speak. His tone cut her off effortlessly. Evone's heart raced. She hadn't expected him to look that good up close. Smooth, dark skin, eyes that seemed to read too much, lips set in quiet control. But she held her ground. The cleaner accidentally splashed water near Miss Queen, she said evenly. He apologized, but she insulted him in front of everyone. I told her that wasn't right. That's all. Jayden studied her for a long, unreadable moment. Everyone in the lobby held their breath. You told my assistant she was wrong? He asked, voice low. Yes, Evone replied. Respect is respect, no matter who it's coming from. He could tell she was nervous. Her fingers trembled slightly against her folder, but her eyes didn't waver. That steadiness intrigued him. Queen scoffed. You see? She doesn't even know her place. Jayden turned to Queen. And what's her place, exactly? Queen blinked. I mean she's just… Enough, Jayden said quietly. Miss Nwosu, please go to your post and continue your work. Evone hesitated, then nodded. Yes, sir. As she walked away, he watched her. The way she held her head high, unashamed. Something about her presence lingered with him long after she disappeared behind the glass desk. Later that afternoon, Jayden found himself looking through the security camera footage, replaying that brief encounter. He told himself it was curiosity, maybe admiration for her courage. But deep down, it was something else. He hadn't seen sincerity like that in years. The next morning, he came down to the reception earlier than usual. Good morning, Miss Nwosu, he said. Evone looked up, startled, then smiled politely. Good morning, sir. How's your first week going? Busy but fine. Everyone's been kind. Mostly, she said, and they both knew what she meant. He smirked slightly. Queen can be difficult. She's passionate, Evone said carefully. Just a little misdirected. Jayden's lips twitched. That's one way to put it. There was a pause, an almost charged silence that neither of them knew how to fill. Her perfume was light, something floral. Her eyes, clear and open, didn't carry the hunger he was used to seeing. That unsettled him in a good way. From her office upstairs, Queen watched them through the glass railing. She saw the way Jayden smiled at the new girl, the subtle attention in his body language. Her nails dug into her palm. Not her, Queen muttered. Not that low-level girl. She'd known Jayden since university. The parties, the power, the whispered nights when she thought he might someday choose her. And now this nobody was undoing years of positioning in just days. But Queen wasn't one to go down quietly. 3 days later, Jayden's phone rang during a meeting. The name flashed across his screen, Godmother Mama Beezy. He smiled. Excuse me, everyone. Her voice crackled through the line. Jayden, my boy, I'm coming to your office this afternoon. I want to see where you hide yourself every day. And maybe see this woman you still refuse to introduce me to. He chuckled. You know there's no woman, Mama. Then I'll find one for you myself, she said and hung up. By 4 o'clock, the lobby buzzed as a simple-looking older woman walked in. Ankara wrapper, handbag clutched close, face lined with kindness. Evone was the first to notice her looking lost near the elevator. Ma, can I help you? She asked. Yes, my dear. I'm looking for Mr. Jayden Okafor's office. Evone smiled. Of course, Ma. This way, please. Before they could move, Queen appeared, her heels clicking like warning shots. Excuse me, she said coldly. This area is for authorized personnel only. Cleaners and visitors wait by the door. The old woman blinked. But she said she's here to see the boss. Evone interrupted, frowning. You can't. Please. Queen's perfume hit before her words did. I said this area is restricted. Visitors should wait by the front desk. Evone's brows furrowed. She's not just a visitor, Miss Queen. She's here to see Mr. Okafor. Queen folded her arms, voice laced with contempt. And I suppose you'll be the one to confirm that? Before Evone could answer, a deep familiar voice rolled across the lobby. Confirm what exactly? Jayden stood by the glass doors, phone still in hand. The moment he saw the older woman, his expression softened instantly.
Mama BC.
The entire floor froze. Mama, he said again, striding forward with a smile that broke his usual calm. Queen's face drained of color as Jayden wrapped the woman in a warm hug. Jayden, my son, Mama BC said, patting his shoulder. You still smell like office stress. Have you eaten today? Laughter rippled through the staff. Evone bit back a grin. I was about to, Jayden replied. But I'm glad you came. Everyone, this is my godmother, Mama BC. Gasps fluttered. Queen's smile returned too late. Evone quickly bowed her head respectfully. Good afternoon, Ma. Mama BC's eyes twinkled. Ah, you're the polite one who helped me. Thank you, my child. She did, Jayden asked, glancing at Evone with a curious warmth. Yes, oh. She spoke gently and treated me like someone important, Mama BC said proudly. Then she turned to Queen. Unlike that one with the red nails who nearly chased me away. The silence that followed was delicious. Jayden's jaw tightened. Queen, my office. Now. Queen stammered. Sir, I didn't know who she was. That's the problem, he cut in sharply. You shouldn't need to. The message hung in the air. Respect shouldn't depend on status. Minutes later, Mama BC sat comfortably in Jayden's office, sipping Zobo from a crystal glass. Evone was there too, having been invited in by Mama BC herself. So, you're the one who stood up for the cleaner, the older woman said, smiling knowingly. Evone blinked. You heard about that? Ah, I hear everything my son pretends not to talk about. She winked at Jayden, who looked momentarily caught off guard. Mama, he said with a half-smile. You make me sound like a gossip. Gossip? No, observer. She turned to Evone. It takes courage to speak up when you're new somewhere. People like you, kind but firm, remind others that power means nothing without compassion. Evone's eyes softened. Thank you, Ma. Mama BC nodded thoughtfully, studying the two of them. You both have good eyes. Maybe that's why you keep looking at each other when you think I don't notice. Jayden cleared his throat. Mama. Evone's cheeks flushed pink. I should get back to my desk.
Nonsense, Mama BC interrupted.
Sit down, Jer. You remind me of myself when I first met Jayden's father. That earned her a startled look from Jayden, but she only chuckled. He was stubborn, proud, and rich. I scolded him till he listened. The rest is history. Evone smiled shyly, and for the first time, Jayden saw her not as a staff member, but as someone who carried light into every room. When Mama BC finally rose to leave, she touched Evone's hand gently. Don't let anyone dim that fire in you. Lagos offices can swallow kind hearts, but yours is special. Evone bowed slightly. God bless you, Ma. As Jayden escorted Mama BC to the elevator, she leaned in and whispered, That girl. Keep her close. She carries peace. He said nothing, but the words followed him long after the elevator doors closed. Upstairs, Queen sat stiffly at her desk, jaw tight. She'd survived Jayden's rebuke, but the humiliation burned. Through the glass wall, she saw Evone laughing softly with the receptionist, the memory of Jayden's attention still lingering on her. Queen's eyes darkened. Enjoy your sunshine while it lasts, new girl. The clouds are coming. Jayden left work late that night, but something pulled him toward the lobby again. Evone was still there, finishing reports under the warm desk light. You're still here, he said. She jumped slightly, then smiled. Almost done. I like leaving things tidy. That's rare, he murmured. Maybe, she said, glancing up at him, but peace feels better when you earn it. He chuckled softly. Mama BC was right about you. Evone tilted her head. What did she say? He met her gaze. That you carry peace. For a heartbeat, the world outside went quiet. Traffic, lights, voices. Everything dimmed around the stillness between them. Then Evone looked away, whispering, "Maybe it's because I've lived through enough storms." He wanted to ask more, but something in her tone told him not to. Instead, he said gently, "Let me drop you off." She hesitated, then nodded. The car hummed softly as Lagos blurred past, neon lights, quiet streets, a drizzle just beginning. Jayden stole a glance at her. She sat with her hands folded neatly, eyes on the rain. "You know," he said quietly, "I'm not used to people talking to me the way you did that first day." Evone smiled faintly. Maybe they were afraid of losing something. "And you?" "I had nothing to lose," she said. "Only myself. And I won't lose that for anyone." He admired her honesty, the kind that made him want to be honest too. When the car stopped at her gate, she turned to him, hesitant. "Thank you for the ride, sir." "Jayden," he corrected softly. Her lips curved. "Good night, Jayden." As she stepped out, the drizzle kissed her hair, and for a second he wanted to call her back, to ask something, anything, to keep the moment from ending. But he only watched her go. Back in his penthouse, Jayden poured himself a drink but didn't taste it. His reflection in the window looked less composed, more human. He thought of her words, her laughter, her quiet courage, and somewhere inside, a lock clicked open, one he didn't know existed. For the first time in years, Jayden Okafor felt. Episode 2. Love has a way of walking into the very rooms we think are locked. Sometimes it comes in heels, sometimes in laughter, and sometimes in the stubborn prayers of a woman who just wants to see her godson happy. The week after Mama Beezy's first visit, the office moved with a strange rhythm. Queen's smiles had grown sharper. The staff whispered that the boss seemed lighter, almost human. Jayden had started coming downstairs every morning, pretending to check on reception operations. Each time, his eyes found Evone before anything else. She'd look up, offer that calm smile, and his carefully built walls would lose another brick. "Good morning, Miss Nwosu," he said one Tuesday, resting his hand on her desk. She looked up, startled again by how natural he sounded. "Good morning, Mr. Okafor." He nodded at the flowers beside her keyboard. "Those are new. They were dying in the break room," she said. "I rescued them." Jayden chuckled softly. "You rescue things a lot, don't you?" Her brow lifted. "Someone has to." And that was it, the kind of answer that lodged itself in his chest like a heartbeat. Upstairs, Queen watched the exchange through the tinted glass of the mezzanine. Her manicured fingers gripped a pen until it snapped. If charm didn't work on Jayden, perhaps manipulation would. By noon, whispers had begun spreading through departments. "The new secretary is getting special attention." Queen made sure of it, an overheard comment here, a raised brow there. By the end of the day, half the office was wondering what Evone had done to earn daily greetings from the CEO. Evone noticed the sudden coldness, the hushed pauses when she entered the lunchroom. She brushed them off, but the sting lingered. On Friday, the lobby doors opened again, and the air itself seemed to brighten. "Mama Beezy!" the security guard exclaimed. She waved cheerfully, Ankara flaring as she walked in with a basket of fruit balanced on her arm. "I've come to check on my stubborn son before work kills him." Evone's face lit up. "Ma, you're back." "My dear." Mama Beezy hugged her like family. "Have they been treating you well?" Evone hesitated, glancing toward Queen's office. "Mostly." Mama Beezy's eyes narrowed. "I'll fix mostly da." Jayden appeared from the elevator just in time to see his godmother's glare. "Mama, please tell me you didn't threaten anyone yet." "Not yet," she said sweetly. "But I might." By noon, Mama Beezy had somehow taken control of Jayden's schedule. "Cancel those boring meetings," she told his assistant. "He's taking me and Evone out for lunch." Evone froze. "Ma, I can't." "You can," Mama Beezy interrupted. "You will. I need intelligent conversation, and my godson only knows spreadsheets." Jayden surrendered with a laugh. "Fine, Mama. Just no interviews over lunch." The restaurant overlooked the marina, sunlight bouncing off the water. Mama Beezy talked endlessly, asking Evone about her family, her dreams, her faith. Jayden mostly listened, captivated by how Evone spoke with quiet confidence. She didn't perform. She simply was. When Mama Beezy excused herself to take a phone call, silence fell between them. Only the waves and their breathing filled the space. Jayden leaned forward slightly. "You make my godmother laugh. That's not easy." Evone smiled. "Maybe she just misses home." He studied her. "And what about you? What do you miss?" She hesitated. "Simplicity. Before life started asking for proofs I couldn't afford." There it was again, that honesty that undid him. When Mama Beezy returned, she found them smiling at nothing and everything. Her eyes gleamed. "So it begins." That afternoon, Queen struck. She called Evone upstairs. "The boss needs these confidential files printed and signed before end of day," she said, handing over a flash drive. Evone accepted it, unaware the files were marked restricted, unauthorized access. 30 minutes later, Jayden's system flagged an alert. Unauthorized printing. His jaw tightened when he saw the user ID. Evone Nwosu. "Get Queen," he said calmly. Minutes later, both women stood before his desk. Jayden's voice was cold steel. "Miss Nwosu, why were you printing board-level financial reports?" Evone blinked, stunned. "Sir, Miss Queen asked me to." "That's a lie." Queen cut in quickly. "I gave her only a memo file. She must have inserted the drive herself." Jayden looked between them, expression unreadable. "Queen, step outside." She hesitated. "But sir." "Now." When the door shut, he turned back to Evone. "Tell me exactly what happened." Her eyes didn't waver. "She handed me the drive. I didn't check the contents. That was my mistake." He watched her closely. "No excuses, no tears. Just truth." After a pause, he spoke quietly. "Go back to your desk. I'll handle this." As she left, his eyes followed her. Not with anger, but with concern. She trusted too easily. Minutes later, IT confirmed Queen's login had initiated the print command. Jayden felt an ache of both relief and fury. He pressed the intercom. "Security escort Miss Queen out." Indefinitely. The sky opened as Evone stepped outside that evening. Torrential rain drumming against the pavement. She had no umbrella, just the lingering weight of humiliation. "Miss Nwosu," a voice called. Jayden was there, jacket over his arm. "You'll catch cold." She blinked. "Sir." "Get in the car." She obeyed quietly. The warmth of the interior wrapped around her, smelling faintly of leather and cedar. He handed her his jacket. "I'm sorry about today." "You believed her," she said softly. "I investigated," he countered gently. "That's what a boss should do." Their eyes met, his full of regret, hers full of something unspoken. Outside, lightning flashed, painting the car interior in silver light. "Still," she whispered, "thank you for finding the truth." "Don't thank me," he said, voice low. "Thank yourself for never pretending." The silence that followed was heavy, charged, the kind of silence that lives on the edge of a heartbeat. He started the engine, but his thoughts were elsewhere, on her hands curled in his jacket, on how peace looked more like a woman than an idea. That night, Jayden sat in his study staring at the rain. His phone buzzed. Mama Beezy. "Jayden Okafor," she scolded before he could speak. "Why did you fire that sharp-mouthed assistant without telling me?" He sighed. "She crossed a line." "Good. Now focus on the girl who makes you breathe differently." He groaned. "Mama." "Don't mama me. Life won't wait for you to catch feelings politely." When the call ended, he found himself smiling. She was right. Again. The next morning, Evone found a small parcel on her desk. Inside was a simple white umbrella and a note written in strong, elegant handwriting. "For the storms you still have to walk through. J." She traced the letters slowly, smiling through tears she didn't know she had. Across the lobby, Jayden watched from the mezzanine. Their eyes met briefly, a silent promise passing between them. Sometimes love doesn't walk in wearing diamonds. Sometimes it walks in with tired eyes, soft hands, and a heart brave enough to care. The rain fell softly over Lagos that night, streaking the tall glass walls of Okafor Holdings like silver tears. The city glittered beneath the storm, the hum of traffic, the gold shimmer of headlights cutting through mist, and above it all, Jayden Okafor sat alone in his penthouse, staring at the skyline. He was a man who had everything: power, prestige, the kind of wealth most people could only dream of. And yet, his chest ached with a strange emptiness. The past few weeks had been transformative. Since Mama Beezy's dinner, Evone had become a quiet rhythm in his days. A smile that made the mornings softer, a presence that steadied the chaos around him. He caught himself anticipating her laughter, noticing her kindness with staff, and admiring the way she carried herself, humble yet strong. Still, Jayden hadn't told her how he truly felt. Not because he didn't want to, but because he was afraid of what she might see beneath the amour. That evening, Evone stayed late at the office, unaware that Queen had returned from suspension. Queen's eyes burned with resentment. She had lost her privileges, her influence, all because of that secretary. In the dim light of the reception hall, she approached Evone with a plastic smile. "Still playing Miss Perfect?" she sneered softly. "Enjoy it while it lasts. You think you've won because Mama Beezy likes you?" Evone kept her calm. "Queen, I don't want any trouble. I'm just doing my job." Queen leaned closer, her voice a venomous whisper. "He'll never choose you. You're just a charity project. Girls like you, secretaries with bright smiles, are good for pity, not partnership." Evone froze. The words cut deeper than she wanted to admit. For the first time in weeks, she doubted herself. But just as Queen turned to leave, Jayden's deep voice echoed from behind them. "Queen," he said, firm and cold. "My office. Now." Her fake confidence melted instantly. She stammered, "Sir, I heard everything." He interrupted, his voice like thunder through glass. "You're done here." Queen's eyes widened in disbelief. "You can't." "I just did," Jayden said without flinching. "HR will finalize your exit papers by morning." Queen's face turned pale. She tried to plead, but Jayden's expression left no room for negotiation. Evone stood speechless, torn between gratitude and discomfort. "Sir, you didn't have to." Jayden turned to her, his gaze softening. "Yes, I did. No one talks to you that way." There it was, the unguarded warmth in his tone. It startled her more than Queen's cruelty had. Later that night, Evone packed her things and found Jayden still in his office. He was by the window, suit jacket off, sleeves rolled up, looking exhausted. "You shouldn't stay this late," she said softly. He smiled faintly. "Neither should you." She hesitated, then added, "I wanted to thank you for standing up for me." Jayden turned, eyes steady. "You did that for others before. It's about time someone did it for you." There was silence, the kind that wasn't empty, just charged. Evone's voice trembled. "People always assume, because you're rich, you can't be kind without wanting something in return. I guess we both get misunderstood." Jayden studied her face. The sincerity, the innocence, the quiet fire that refused to fade. He stepped closer, slowly. "Evone," he said, her name heavy on his tongue. "When you walked into my life, I didn't realize what you were doing to me." Her breath hitched. "What am I doing to you?" He smiled faintly. "Making me want to be seen. Not as a billionaire, but as a man." The room went still. The rain whispered against the windows. For a moment, all the walls he'd built crumbled. She looked up at him, vulnerable, beautiful, unsure. "Jayden." And then, without thinking, he brushed his hand against hers. The touch was light but electric, a spark that neither could deny. He stepped back quickly, his voice low. "Forgive me. That was unprofessional." Evone smiled faintly. "Maybe, but it was real." A week later, Mama Beezy invited Evone for lunch again, and this time, Jayden didn't happen to be there by accident. The old woman had seen enough. She was determined to make it official. "My son," she said after lunch, in that tone only godmothers can use. You're wasting time pretending you don't feel what you feel. Jayden nearly choked on his drink. Mama, please. She waved a hand. You've been smiling more, haven't you? You look human again. Don't tell me it's coincidence. Evone blushed furiously.
Mama busy.
Don't Mama busy me, the woman said, laughing. If two good hearts find each other in this world of lies, you don't hide it. You hold on before the world takes it away. Jayden and Evone exchanged a glance, awkward but filled with unspoken truth. Just when everything seemed to fall into place, an old news blog published a story. Okafor Holdings CEO dating his secretary? The photo showed Jayden and Evone leaving Mama Busy's mansion, smiling. Within hours, it was everywhere. The comments were cruel. She's using him. Another gold digger. Rich men always fall for their employees. Evone wanted to hide. She avoided Jayden's calls, embarrassed, humiliated. Jayden, furious, called a meeting with his PR team, ready to crush the rumors. But Mama Busy stopped him. Let the world talk, she said. Only lies need defense. Truth stands by itself. That night, Jayden drove to Evone's apartment. When she opened the door, her eyes were red from crying. He didn't say a word at first, just held her hand gently. Evone, he said finally, if this is too much for you, I'll understand. But I won't pretend I don't love you. She froze. You love me? Yes. His voice cracked. For the first time, I found someone who doesn't want my name or my money. Just me. And I'm not letting you go because of gossip. Evone's eyes filled with tears. Jayden, people will never understand. He smiled faintly. They don't need to.
Ido.
Then, with a trembling laugh, she whispered, then maybe we stop hiding. And for the first time, Jayden Okafor, the man who never let his heart show, kissed her. It wasn't the fiery kiss of lust, but the quiet, reverent kiss of two souls who finally found home. A year later, the lobby of Okafor Holdings was filled with laughter. Flowers adorned the walls, and the staff buzzed with excitement. It was the company's anniversary celebration, and at the center of it all stood Jayden and Evone, now his wife, hand in hand. Mama Busy beamed with pride from her seat. I told you, didn't I? She whispered to a colleague. Money can build empires, but only love can build a man. Queen, now working humbly for a smaller firm, sent a simple congratulatory message. It was short but sincere. Sometimes losing what you wanted is how you find who you are. As the music swelled and Jayden gave his thank you speech, he turned to Evone. She taught me that love isn't about what you have, he said. It's about who stays when everything else fades. Evone smiled, eyes shimmering. And you taught me that not all rich men are heartless. Some are just waiting to be seen. They shared a look that said everything words couldn't. So here's to the ones who still believe in real love, the kind that doesn't ask what's in your bank account, but what's in your heart. If you ever doubt that such love exists, remember Jayden and Evone. Proof that sometimes the richest thing a man can give is his heart. Please share, like, subscribe, and leave a comment.